If you want a well laid out gallery wall, don't do this. Don't do this either. Please, don't do this either. Because you're going to put your frames on the floor how you want them to be, and then you have to take them to the wall. Then what? This is not a good situation. Let's get to it and show you what the best case scenario is with my method. Yes, in this video series, we are going to be breaking it down. I am going to show you how to achieve a lovely gallery wall with my template method. We will be going step by step just to make sure you will not get overwhelmed, right? So let's get started with our first step. Now, one of the first things I'm going to mention, of course, are our precious pieces that we have collected over the years. Your frames, they don't all have to be the same color. They don't all have to be the same design, the same width. What is nice is if each one of your framed pieces has something that can link back to something else, because we want to have that cohesion, right? For example, my frame here, different designs, but the color is similar. So that makes them more cohesive. It depends also on your decor. If you have a more modern style, then you may want to get streamlined frames that are the same color. But for a more eclectic farmhouse, even a transitional cottage, beachy, you don't have to get frames that all are matchy. Next thing, we need to have a straight edge. We need a square. Now, the straight edge and the square are mostly for squaring off the paper. We'll talk about that in a minute. We need a little hammer, of course, to hammer in our nails or hooks that we will use for our art. Now, in my gallery wall that I did, I use push pins or thumbtacks, wooden thumbtacks. Those are also good if your art is at a size or a weight that you can put them on it, right? And it doesn't pull it down, because they go in nicely in the drywall and I have no issues with my art, right? But as I said, it has to be the appropriate size and weight for you to use those push pins. We're going to need a measuring tape, of course, pencil or chalk, and also painter's tape. One of the biggest things that's going to help us to do a successful gallery wall is paper, right? Like a big piece of paper that can fit all your artwork. The bigger your composition, the bigger your paper needs to be, right? Now you can go ahead and use your painter's tape or any other tape to put pieces of paper together to the size that you need. And one of the things that's going to be very important with the paper is to make sure the top end of the paper is square. Make sure it's straight, right? The sides, not so much. The bottom, not so much. But the top part needs to be square. Before we get into doing the actual gallery wall composition, there are a few principles that I want us to consider when doing our gallery wall. And number one is choose a piece that will anchor your gallery wall, so it becomes the focal of your gallery wall. You build around your focal piece, right? Number two, we can establish a theme. So for example, if we want to use photos from our travels that show different places that we've been to, then that would be a travel theme. We can use nature theme, and that would be like animals and landscape, flowers, right? We can also have a theme, which is a mixed theme. So we can actually mix in our family photos with nature, with travel, because that creates interest. The next thing I want us to be sure to do is measure, measure, measure. Measure once, measure twice. If you have to measure 3 times, do that, because sometimes mistakes are not easy to correct when you're doing like a gallery wall. And that is why too, we're going to do it on the paper first. We're going to make ourselves a template that we're going to put on the wall. And I'm going to show you the easy way to do the template. The spacing between the pieces matter, right? So the space that is recommended for your gallery wall to look cohesive and not like they're moving away from each other or like they're too close together, the sweet spot is between 2 and 3 inches between your frames. Last principle I want to mention is balance. We need to consider balance when we are making our gallery wall. We would not want to put all big frames on one side and all small frames on the other side, because it will look and feel imbalanced, right? So that's visual balance we're talking about there. Also, balance in the form of, okay, we wouldn't want to line up all landscaping photos over here and all flowers here. And no, we have to mix them. And so it looks like a story, right? Our gallery wall should actually be telling a story. Now we have the basics down. We have laid our foundation on which we are going to build our template. In our step 2, we are going to lay out our artwork, our family photos, whatever you are wanting to put in your gallery wall. And we are going to do our measurements to see spacing and all that good stuff. So catch you for step 2 on Friday.